It was a quiet evening at the ranch, the kind of serene night where crickets hum and the stars glitter overhead like scattered diamonds. My wife was tending to the garden near the barn, completely unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon us. Karen number 53, emboldened by her previous HOA antics, had escalated her harassment to a level even audacity itself would hesitate to cross. She had hired a biker gang to kidnap my wife, hoping that fear would force me into compliance. I had anticipated escalation. Decades of military training as a Delta Force commander had taught me that threats often escalate predictably, and preparation is the only defense. As soon as the first movement was detected near the property's perimeter, a pair of motorcycles roaring down the dirt path, I knew this wasn't a typical HOA overreach. From my vantage point in the barn loft, I observed the gang members assembling, their leather jackets glinting under the moonlight, attempting to appear intimidating. What they didn't know was that they were stepping into a trap meticulously prepared over weeks of surveillance, security adjustments, and tactical planning. Every entry point, every blind spot, every likely approach had been accounted for. I quietly relayed instructions to my wife, who had been trained in emergency protocols, guiding her into a secure area of the house while I prepared for engagement. My Delta Force instincts kicked in, every muscle alert, every decision calculated for maximum control and minimum risk. The bikers approached, shouting threats and brandishing weapons. One of them tried to force the barn door open, assuming that audacity could substitute for skill. I moved silently behind them, using the element of surprise. Within seconds, 2 of the gang members were neutralized with precision restraints, their momentum redirected harmlessly to the ground. The remaining members froze, realizing they were no longer in control. Their aggression faltered as they faced a trained commander who knew every inch of the terrain, had prepositioned security cameras, and had called in law enforcement as a precaution. The barn became a controlled tactical environment, and the kidnappers found themselves outmaneuvered without a single shot fired. I spoke calmly, voice carrying authority. "Leave now. You have no jurisdiction here. Any further action, and law enforcement will be waiting with full documentation of your attempt at criminal activity." By the time the sheriff's office and state police arrived, alerted through preemptive emergency protocols, the gang had surrendered. Their motorcycle engines still thrummed, but their plan had evaporated under preparation, training, and lawful authority. Karen number 53's audacious plot had collapsed entirely. Once the situation was secured, I ensured that every angle was recorded. Security footage, timestamps, photographs of the gang's equipment, and GPS tracking created a permanent, airtight record of the attempted kidnapping. Karen's overreach was no longer hypothetical, it was now criminally documented. Neighbors, alerted to the attempted intrusion, watched in awe as the situation was contained without injury. Karen number 53's credibility was obliterated, her audacity laid bare against real preparation and lethal experience. Her attempt to intimidate had resulted in immediate accountability. By dawn, peace had returned to the ranch. My wife was safe, the property secured, and the gang detained. Every perimeter was checked, every security measure reinforced, and every document logged. The incident became a permanent cautionary tale. Audacity cannot replace preparation, and criminal attempts against a trained defender are met with overwhelming consequences. The ranch, once again, returned to serenity. The moon reflected off the barn roof, cattle grazed calmly, and the air was filled with the faint rustle of wind through the trees. Karen number 53 had assumed she could escalate HOA harassment to criminal levels without consequence, but she had met the consequences swiftly, decisively, and lawfully. Property, family, and life itself remained secure. The lesson clear. Audacity meets preparation, and preparation backed by lethal skill and law enforcement ensures protection against even the most dangerous attempts at intimidation.